Russia attacks on Ukraine. As Russia's military offensive in Ukraine continues, inflicting heavy losses among both soldiers and civilians, these graphics show the latest developments, from military movements to companies withdrawing from Russia. President Vladimir Putin ordered Russia's first mobilization since World War II after his forces suffered a major battlefield reversal in Ukraine. The mobilization was officially described as a partial one that will steadily draw in 300,000 reservists. But the call-up has led to the first sustained protests in Russia since the invasion began, with hundreds arrested. All public criticism of Russia's special military operation is banned. Confirmed Russian regions generating volunteer units to fight in Ukraine. Border crossings from Ukraine. Russian military casualties according to Ukraine. Ukraine has not released its official casualty figures. However, in June 2022, President Volodymyr Zelensky said that 60 to 100 Ukrainian soldiers were dying in combat every day. Civilian casualties. The southern Ukrainian city of Mariupol on the Sea of Azov, pummeled by weeks of shelling from Russian forces, is now fully under Russian control. The sprawling Azovstal steel plant was the last holdout of Ukrainian troops defending the city. Situation in the Black Sea. Russia has a major naval base in Sevastopol, the largest city in Crimea. Ships transients from the Mediterranean Sea must pass through two straits that are in Turkey's sovereign sea territory. Estimated strength of the Russian Black Sea Fleet in 2018. Russian cruiser sinking. The Ukrainian Neptune anti-ship cruise missile is based on the design of the Soviet Kh-35 system. The Neptune coastal defense system, which comprises truck-based mobile launchers, entered service in 2021. Lethal mini drone. The drone sends live video to control unit. It carries a warhead powerful enough to destroy a tank. Humanitarian corridors for days. As Moscow's forces have laid siege to Ukrainian cities, attempts to create corridors to safely evacuate civilians have stumbled amid continuing fighting and objections to the proposed routes. Ukraine has rejected Moscow's offers of corridors that lead civilians to Russia or its ally Belarus. NLAW, Ultimate Tank Killer. Ukraine's armed forces have been supplied with NLAW anti-tank missiles developed by the UK and Sweden. They are designed to eliminate the most advanced Russian tanks at short range, and up to 800 meters, with its powerful 150 mm high explosive warhead. NLAWs, or Next-Generation Light Anti-Tank Weapons, feature a lightweight single-use launcher and a basic optical and firing system that's easy to use. NLAWs are in service in at least 10 countries, including the UK, Sweden, Finland and Switzerland. Russian flight bans. Russia has closed its airspace to airlines from dozens of countries, including all 27 members of the European Union, after EU ministers agreed to refuse entry to Russian planes, including the private jets of the country's oligarchs. Russia's ban forces airlines to fly alternative routes between Europe and Asia. The United States said it would follow the EU and Canada in banning Russian flights from its airspace, in a move likely to trigger Russian retaliation. Defense budgets. Russia versus Ukraine, 2020. The national balance of forces is overwhelmingly in Russia's favor. Russian military spending in 2020 amounted to $60.6 billion in 2020. Ukraine's was less than a tenth of that amount. Countries supporting Russia's stance on NATO expansion. As the crisis between Ukraine and Russia deepens, many countries have already announced sanctions on Moscow following Russia's troops massing around the border. Air traffic shutdown. Hours before the attack began, the Ukrainian Air Authority closed its airspace.